All right, hello again, fellow mindologists. Now, Mindercise is all about social balance. It's about looking at things from a different point of view, a different perspective, opening your mind, because you've been programmed from only what the establishment wants you really to see, what you see on mainstream news, and what your environment, the people around you, and your family have taught you. And if you don't expand your horizons beyond that, to verify things and to look at different levels of enlightenment, you're never going to know. That's just the way it is. So what this is a high level engineering theory. Okay. Now our binary suns, which many believe that there's a binary sun, which was Planet X, and if you look at the calculations, it worked out very well when you add that Planet X in there. Matter of fact, perfect. Because if you just use only one sun, the calculations don't come out right. Any rate, the sun controls all frequencies in our solar system, and this is witnessed by all the sun's recent activity. The sun is the cause of the polar magnetic shift and the climate change here on Earth. Is greenhouses used to terraform planets? Yes, but at a different composition, mixed in our man-made pollution at a much higher levels. Now our sun is increasing the frequency of Earth. Now your challenge is to keep up with this increased frequency by raising your consciousness level in order to reach higher stage of frequency to match it, or higher enlightenment. Now what happens if you don't? Well, when you reincarnate, and many people of the world believe you do reincarnate, which I believe we're infinite beings, so I believe that theory, you end up staying behind by not advancing your consciousness level. And that's what Mindercise is all about. So you can learn, you can stay with the group that you're in, and you can graduate to higher levels. You learn and move forward. Now, Earth's frequency was at a level 0, just now switching into a level 1. And this is sort of proven by babies now being born with 3-strand DNA. All of the earlier people, like ourselves, and the older ones, we were born with 2-strand DNA. But now the babies are being born with 3-strand DNA. And that's how the ascension process works. Now, if you don't train and increase your consciousness frequency level when you're incarnated, you can't graduate. You have to remain on a level 0 platform in your new incarnation instead of rising to a level 1. If you pass to a higher level consciousness frequency level, then you can graduate and go on to the frequency level 1 that will support that. I don't want to get into how that works yet, because that's a totally another explanation in itself. Now, how the change in the DNA, genes, and brain feature activation works, it's accomplished by the Earth's frequency controlled by the sun. The frequency changes the DNA in newborns, which activates switches in the genes and turns on features in the brain. That's why we have a lot of very smart kids being born right now. So yes, we did actually make the leap from level 0 to level 1, from the 2-strand to the 3-strand DNA. And not a word about it from the establishment, but this is what Mindercise is all about, is research and looking into the things that you don't know, and what people just, are news outlets or places just won't arbitrarily tell you. You have to actually dig. I hate to say it, but the world's a big mystery, and you have to be a detective to solve it, because no one's going to freely give you the information. It's on a need-to-know basis, and if you don't need to know, they're not going to just tell you. So that's why, research and due diligence is your responsibility. Okay. Now, your brain neuroplasticity is constantly changing from every millisecond. It's always changing. It's either growing or it's wilting, the neuron connections, if you pruning, if you will. That's why Mindercise and exercising your brain and mind fitness, or mind gym or whatever you want to call it is important, but most people don't bother. They think just physically. Um, but and the reason is that it's actually more, takes up more energy and more exhausting to do mental exercise than it does physical exercise. And that's why a lot of people just don't bother doing it. Okay, so your objective is to always keep those neurons growing through subconscious growth by exercising your mind a little every day, or at least the majority of the time. So let's say, for example, you don't get at it every day, but at least out of the 7 days of the week, the bigger percentage, the bigger percentage and majority is, 4 days or 5 days out of the week, then you're at least on a forward progress. If you go below that, then you start doing negative progress, and it starts trimming the neurons and making it more efficient, because the way your brain works is that, well, they're not using it, they don't need it, we got to get rid of it. Now, when you have an immediate higher level frequency of conscious thought, it is not permanent. It is only temporary until you can transfer that higher thought permanently into your subconscious. This requires your brain to be rewired via neuroplasticity and repetitive habitual behavior of that higher frequency thought. Your brain rewires itself short term so it can receive the higher frequency thought and information. Then only after you train and maintain that higher frequency will it hardwire the circuits for long-term storage and use. Now, the funny thing here is that, however, if you don't maintain at least that same frequency or higher over time, the neurons will shed itself and prune those neurons to maintain its efficiency. So that's why, mindercise and mind exercise is going to be important in the future. It's important now, but most people don't understand why. I didn't until I learned. Now I understand how it works, and I think it's going to be one of the important things that are coming up. People love to do physical exercise, but they don't do much for the mind. Brain training is not the same. Mind training is different. It's a self-cleaning system, and that's what your brain is, to maintain peak performance for good or bad functioning. It doesn't matter. It doesn't care how you feel. It will release the healthy or unhealthy chemicals in your brain to maintain that habitual behavior. Because we're creatures of habit, and your body prefers ritual. The easiest way out instead of working hard, expending unnecessary energy. Now, to me, you have a purpose and a reason for being here. That is why Mindercise is essential to your growth, health, and learning. Don't get left behind. Do your part to advance the race as a whole. Your obligation, responsibility, and duty to yourself and our human race. So, stay tuned to how to do this and how it can help you in the day-to-day activities, which is really what a lot of people want to know. How is it going to help me today? How is it going to help me from day to day? And it does really work. You have to practice. It doesn't happen instantly, but once it does, you're really amazed how well the system works. So I'm just going to give a little shout out to all the engineers and lone wolves out there. Until next time.